is Cass. I am here with another intuitive prophetic message. And baby, we have to get into this conversation because see, the old version of you is done and God has closed that door. And I really need for us to sit in this energy right now because I believe a lot of us, just as women, we oftentimes look at what life was once like, right? We look at how our lives used to be. And I feel like there's an unspoken grief of not being able to say, oh my gosh, that part of my life is done. And so we sit in it, right? We sit in it and we ruminate and we talk about what we would consider the good old days when life was different, when life felt grander or bigger. And the reason why it felt bigger back then is because there was a lot that you had to work through, right? There was a lot that you needed to see. There was a lot that just was happening across the board. Whether you were struggling, whether you were just getting your life together, whether you fled from a nasty situation or relationship, whether you were building up your money, no matter where you were in your journey, the fact of the matter is that there was work to do. And a part of you might actually miss the busyness of it all. A part of you might actually be like, you know what? Hold on, y'all. Let me change this light. A part of you might actually be like, you know what? I remember when there was so much going on and I felt useful. I felt like there was a place for me to thrive. There was a place for me to just be my best, be whoever I needed to be because I was showing up. That's much better. Because I was showing up for a purpose. And because your purpose was focused on creating order out of chaos, your nervous system got used to that. Your nervous system got used to saying, hey, by the way, listen, when things are exciting, you're at your best. And I know a lot of us feel that way because y'all will wait to the last minute to get that same thrill. So a lot of you will procrastinate and say, I'm going to finish this project. I'm going to finish this paper. I'm going to finish whatever it is at the last minute because that rush feels good because your nervous system is like, boom, pow, here it is. And I'm asking you, and I know it could be a big ask. I'm asking you to step away from that notion of chaos being thrilling, being exhilarating. And the reason why I'm saying that's a big ask is because sometimes I believe that women forget just how deep they were in chaos. I believe that women forget just how much they were in a lot of BS across the board. And they underestimate how that took a toll on their bodies, on their minds, on their emotions, on their regulation, because you were in it for such a long time that it became normal. Yeah. So that rush, that feeling was a huge payoff. It was a huge payoff for you. And now, because you are working towards a better version of yourself, or you're living in that better version of yourself, my God, today, it's almost like, so what do I do with myself? Do I find something else to attach myself to that's chaotic? Or do I find something that's peaceful? And that's normal. That is normal for high achieving, high functioning, emotionally intelligent, and spiritually gifted women. That is so normal. And I want to ensure that I am normalizing this process for you because the quiet or the difference between you going full throttle in the old version of yourself and engulfing yourself in that chaos and where you are now is a completely different experience and a completely different process of the mind. Okay? Because you go from on go to actually being in a better space. I'm not saying everything is always chill. I'm not saying that everything is always going to be, roses or things like, but what I am saying is that there is a level of your life that does not feel or is not does not feel, not just feel, but you are not so all over the place and chaotic like you once were. And I want to honor that space. I want to honor that liminal space. And I want to honor that emotional space, because going from having thrills of being the go-to person all the time, being the strongest person all the time, to finding out or settling in, not finding out, settling in to your boundaries, to your deeper spiritual purpose, to who you are as a person. What does life look like without all of that? That's big. That's big. And a lot of times you don't get recognized for that. A lot of time you're asking people to hold space for you, and they are ill-equipped to hold space. Meanwhile, you've held the space for everybody. Meanwhile, you've been so strong. It's almost like this silent warrior thing where you've been so strong for everybody else, and the way that you show up is unapologetic, that now that you have arrived in a certain space in your life where life is not drama filled, where life is not so much going on, now that you come into that space, no one is equipped to hold that for you at all. And I'm recognizing that in this crazy repetitive system of social media, of the spiritual community, of the healing community, it is nonstop chaos healing, chaos healing. This entire freaking industry is filled with triggering you, because a solution to you being triggered is saying, I have to start over again from the very beginning. And I don't like that. I don't like that. And it's always geared towards women having to start over again. I don't like that. And I want to tell you, like, baby, you got options. You can go places. You don't have to keep falling into a trap of, okay, I'm triggered. Now I have to start all over again. And then I have to find, and then I'm finding this thrill and starting over again. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. The thrill is actually that you don't have to start over again. That's actually the freaking thrill of it all. And I want you to be able to sit in that. I want you to be able to sit in that, earth angel, divine feminine, beautiful lady. I want you to be able to sit in the fact that the exhilaration comes from the fact that, nah, you can mind your business, drink your water, and stay drama free, no matter where that drama is coming from. And I know for a fact that many of you are learning that, like, you're stepping into that zone, you're stepping into that. And I had like this conversation, this revelation almost. And I've been working on this revelation for some time. And I think that many of you that have been with me have seen this, right? Or at least seen this in me, at least I hope so. There is, how do I want to say this? It is everything to have peace. How do I want to say this? I fight so hard to ensure that when I sit with my clients, I have over 10 years of hospice and end of life care experience. When I sit down with women who are at the end of their lives or taking their last breath, or on 11th hour care, I do my best to reflect back to them what they have done in their lives. And it's very few, I've been blessed, but there have been very few people that's come across my desk that were just like questionable. But for the most part, the women, they just assign their stress as a part of what they needed to do. But they never assign their wins. They never celebrate their wins. It's always, I got through that. I got through this one hard thing, or these 15 hard things, whatever the conversation may be. It's always that. And it's never like, look at the wins, look at everything that I've gone through, look at how I've overcome, how I've succeeded. Look at my family, look at my career. Like, women will harp on even at the end of life. It's not just you and I have to change this narrative. It is a purpose within me to change this narrative that women do not have to always rely on their pain in order to be seen. And so what I've been seeing a lot is a lot of spiritual spaces and women, they do what's called like this, it's almost like a becoming her type of coaching program, right? Where they assist women in a part of their journey that feels rough, or they might need a different type of insight to find their footing spiritually, emotionally, those type of things, right? And I honor those coaching programs because there are some women out here that are doing phenomenal work. But what happens, baby? What happens when the woman who is becoming became? What happens when the woman who was becoming actually became? And this is where most women get dropped off in the spiritual healing community. Because see, what they see is that you've done the work. So because you've done the work, there's no need for you anymore. You're good. You're good. Like you can go home now. Thank you for your services. Thank you for investing in so much of some of this BS that don't matter and some of it does matter. Like, thank you so much. We walked away with all your money, and you walked away with maybe even feeling better about yourself, knowing more about yourself, getting through a difficult time. You could actually benefit from it. I believe that many women do. Okay, so what's next? And that's where I have reconfigured my witness woman. Yes, ma'am. That's where I reconfigured my witness woman. The link is actually in the description. It's pinned to the top. And my witness woman sits in the arrival era. That means that I sit with you for 6 weeks. We meet up once a week and we speak about your entire story, not just the painful parts, but the good parts. We speak about how you've overcome, how you can be held in this moment, what it feels like to be lonely during a time where you've elevated to a point in your life where the small things don't make you react like they used to. Many of you have gone above your peers in financials. Many of you have gone above your peers emotionally, psychologically, just politically, family-wise. And that's due to the investment that you poured into yourself. And now you're sitting up here like, okay, well, girl, I made it here. Who's going to hold me? I still need support. And that's what the witness woman has morphed into. Click the link in my description, or not in my description, in my chat, so you can take a look at a program that is geared towards the healed woman. Because truly, life after healing exists. It doesn't mean you don't need support. And that's why I feel like the old version of you is done and God already closed that door is a significant title to this live stream. And it came to me just through my soul, through my heart, through my mind, because many of you are looking to tap back into that old version of yourself because you have not been formally recognized. Because no one has sat here and said, wow, look at everything that you've accomplished and what can we do with that? You need your life reflected back to you. I cannot allow another woman that I sit at their bedside and they're 100 years old and I'm saying like, wow, with all the hard work you've done. No, you need to be celebrated right now. Yeah. And so this live stream is part celebration, part honoring, and also looking at the grief of the woman who you once were. Yeah. And I love that for you. And there's nothing wrong with grief. There's nothing wrong with saying, oh my gosh, Cass, I've gone through so much and I don't think I've ever sat down and paid attention or unpacked my life, because you're in it. You're in it. You are in your life. the whole time. So a lot of things get pushed to the side. A lot of events are minimized. A lot of events aren't even unpacked the way that they should be because there is not a space to hold that amount of energy that you have. Look, 4 wands. Whoa. The 4 wands with the 6 of swords. Yeah, not enough energy for what you have. And let's take a look at that 4 of wands, shall we? Talking about birth of a nation, talking about birthing something new, right underneath the Ace of Pentacles and the 6 of swords. Yeah, nobody can hold this new level. Nobody can hold this new level in your circle. And you know what's crazy? Not even really crazy, it's just a fact that you can be around family and friends that love you, that support you, that are with you, that care about you, that care about your well-being. You can be around people just like that and still feel alone because they don't understand where you are in your life. You have elevated 1,000 times over. They are still speaking to the old version of you. And it becomes frustrating. It becomes frustrating because when they speak to you as if you're the old version of yourself, first of all, it's a lack of acknowledgement that you've changed. But also, maybe they don't even know that you've changed because they're wrapped up in their own world as well. You should not be spoken to like the same person from 5 years ago, 10 years ago. People have a hard time catching up with you. It's not a fault. It just is what it is. Queen of Pentacles, yeah, with the Knight of Swords. Absolutely. It just is what it is. And there's a source here that I'm feeling with this Knight of Swords and this Queen of Pentacles, where you've been in deep thought about this. You've been in incredible deep thought about how the people around you think, deal with their feelings. Let me tell you how I know so bad, y'all. Ooh, look at this 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Let me tell you how I know so bad that you've been in deep thought about this, because I'll see that women, they'll just disengage. You'll completely just disengage. And there's something just, so you know how before you were activated in chaos, now for you it's more about the mental sparring. You're well read, you're well studied, you've gone deeper into your spiritual practices, you understand how the world is operating right now. And for some reason, the people around you are just not caught up. I'm telling you, y'all, it just feels like you in a room of people who are just flat. And it's no diss to them. It just shows how much you've grown. And it shows how much you've been shrinking yourself. It shows how much you've grown. And it shows how much you have been consistently shrinking yourself so much that once somebody like me recognizes and points out that your life is bigger than what this circle is doing to you, you start to feel like the eyeball out. Yeah. You start to actually recognize that you have been playing it small this whole time. And not because they can't keep up. Well, that's part of it. They can't keep up. But also because how else are you supposed to meet people where they are? You are a highly sophisticated woman at this point. I'm speaking to people that have poured into themselves next level. So when I see the Queen of Pentacles talking about major grounding, talking about major energy, talking about major understanding, yeah, the Pentacles is understanding. It's taking the Knight of Swords, that is big manifestation energy. It's also a way with words. Make sure y'all double tap this screen, please. It's also a way of words, a way of enlightenment. Whoo, boy, that enlightenment, that Knight of Swords enlightenment. And let me tell you something about your enlightenment. I spoke about this briefly yesterday. Your enlightenment, because you've been on this journey for a very long time. I'm talking about some of y'all 10, 15, 20, even longer years, 50 years of pure enlightenment, where you've overcome, reset, struggled, reset, made it, healed, boom, next level of life. Like you've done this multiple times, and you actually become, I talked about this yesterday, you actually become unintentionally other people's leader. Yeah, leadership. So this enlightenment that you've gone through, enlightenments and levels that you've gone through over the decades, it places you emotionally and spiritually just on a different plane. You see the plan before it goes down. You see people's behaviors before it happens. Y'all think that sometimes, let me just say this, sometimes y'all think that y'all still broken. Sometimes y'all think that y'all still, 10 years ago you. What I like to do is point out the maturation in your elevation. And that's what the Queen of Pentacles and Knight of Swords is saying. Like, hey, I need you to understand how big this journey has been for you. And I also like to point out, baby, don't nobody else have a story like yours. No one else has a story like yours. And so when you have somebody sit in front of your face and you, let's say, for instance, you might just need some support making a big decision about something. It's not even anything major, just something really small. So yes, somebody said guilty. Yeah, you might need help making a decision. And I've had this happen to myself. I'll use my own example. All right, flow with me. I think you'll be able to. I've sat in front of friends and I've spoken to them about wanting to become, all right, I'm be a little bit vulnerable here, okay? But at one point in my life, I wanted to become an ambassador, okay? One point in my life, when I got out the military, I said, I'm going to be a world ambassador, girl. It's so many background checks. Anyway, I was speaking to one of my friends about becoming an ambassador. And she was like, well, an ambassador, to who, to what? And I was like, I don't know, world peace. Okay, I was on some like shit, like Miss America, world peace. What you mean? And it's just something that came to my heart. And I don't even think it's too late for me. So listen, not under this administration. Nevertheless, I was talking to one of my friends about it, and my friend was like, well, why would you want to become an ambassador? Like, don't you think that's too much? And I would never fix my mouth to say, don't you think that's too much? What do you think about my capacity? And that's the thing, when you grow and you expand, that word, when you expand your capacity and what you're willing to take on, that is a direct reflection of how much growth you've had. And when you get people that kind of buck back at you like that, like, well, why would you want to do something like that? It goes to show the capacity that they can't hold. You feel what I'm saying? So many women deal with that. So many women deal with that. And I have to continuously honor just how hard that is. Just how hard it is to be in a room of people that you care about, that you love, that support you, and you support them, and they cannot meet you where you are because they don't have the expansion. I feel like we need to talk about that expansion. That word just keeps coming up, and it's proper under this Seven of Cups as well. This expansion energy, absolutely. Give me some energy. Tap in, y'all. Tap in. Thank you so much for being here. Woo. Got Ace of Wands on the side with the Knight of Pentacles and the World. Talk about expansion. When I say the grand, the grand opening, right? The grand, like heart forward, heart centered soul expansion that I'm speaking about and what can hold it. The Ace of Wands is literally saying, bust me out of whatever was holding me back before. I already clocked it for you. What's holding you back partly is the people that you would not necessarily leaving behind physically or even all the way emotionally, but you just operate on a different level. Just operate differently. And because you operate differently, you just might not see those people as often. You might touch base with them, but you just is the interaction just doesn't make sense for you anymore. And there's a different type of appetite that you have for the world when you continue to expand. There's a fear that drops away from you when you continue to expand. So a lot of people will speak to you from their fear, right? They'll speak to you from how they view the world and what they deem is dangerous. And you're looking at the world like, yeah, we know it's some clown stuff happening. Like that's never been not your thing, right? That's never been out of your scope. Of course, you're spiritually tapped in, collective. So you know what's going on out there in the world. But what are you supposed to do? You don't operate from fear. You don't operate from lack. So the fact that the what's the term, y'all? Modem operandi. Just the fact that y'all are operating in a different frequency of how you tune into the world around you is already a distance. It's already a distance, and you know this. What I'm helping you do right now is just put language to your experience. And I'm not, and let me tell you something very clearly. When I say you've arrived, what I'm saying is doesn't have anything to do with the fact that there's still a journey ahead of you. All of us will continuously be working on ourselves. I mean, that is the whole goal of enlightenment. But what I am saying is that the work that you have done thus far needs to be honored. Yeah, yeah. And this Nine of Pentacles flanking the world with the Ace of Wands holding you up. I just feel like this passion to expand, you've been holding back. You've been holding back because you feel like once you step out into this next level wholly, fully, unapologetically, that you won't have a safe space to land with someone who understands where you are in life. I know that is the case. I want y'all to type a one in the chat if you get what I'm telling you. If this is you, if you resonate with what I'm saying to you, type a one in the chat. I need you to understand that you get to be witnessed at this level of your life. It's not a make-believe space. It's real. And many women who recognize that they are in a place of absolute expansion and they surrender to that expansion. Oh my gosh, they surrender to it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it's quiet. And it's deeply felt. It's a new space, a new mindset, a new thought process. Hey Coco, go to bed. Go to bed. I'm live, baby. I'll take you on in a little bit, okay? Go to bed. Go on. It's just so different. It's so different. Whew. I have to tell you, you have permission to move. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of you are forgetting that you can grant yourself permission. And you know, I speak about this from time to time. I don't believe I speak about it enough. But in this era of your life, I I believe that there's not enough language to tell you that your divine assignment is ripe. It is ready for you to pick up and take the torch. You really do. You really have to understand that a lot of you are anointed. I tell you, y'all tap in. A lot of you are anointed. As I'm looking at this Nine of Pentacles in this world, but you don't show up for your appointment for the anointing. That's another space of your life that you shrink, that you keep small, because many people will not understand your spiritual assignment here. It is massive. And many of you go into business, spiritual business, or you go into fields that require you to heal. That's why many of you are therapists, social workers, nurses, LVNs, what's the other one? CNAs. Many of you go into healing fields, biology, legal. Those are healing. People need healing from the law. The law is vicious. Many of you go into becoming a doctor. What? That's crazy. It's good. Crazy in a good way. Because I failed biology. I'm terrible. Mm-hmm. And y'all be downplaying how many times, especially as a divine feminine, you don't recognize even how your profession is a reflection of your spiritual assignment. Yeah. And some of y'all might just be like, well, Cass, listen, I work the grocery store. Okay. I work at Aldi's. I'm a cashier at Aldi's. Baby, I respect the ever-loving crap out of every last one of those cashiers at Bonds. What you mean? They making sure that I can walk in and receive my food. They're making sure the place is clean. They're changing out the produce. They're welcoming me with a smile on my face. What do you mean? That's a part of the nourishment industry. So again, shrinking and downplaying who you truly are and what you do because you don't see the importance in what you do. Because society has a way of shutting women down and telling them to shut up because they're not good enough. Or because what they do isn't significant enough. I bypass all that noise. Said who? Said who? I was working with a client who had always wanted a big family. I'm talking about her, in her mind, she wanted to have 1,000 kids. As long as she could keep pumping them out, she was going to have them. And she and her husband loved the idea of having a big family. They had to stop at 3 because she just couldn't take it anymore. And she says, I only have 3. I had to stop at 3. And I wanted to hold her because in those moments, you could tell that she was feeling guilty that she could not fulfill that part of her life of having 3, of having only 3 and not 10 or 1,000, how many kids she wanted at that time. But it never crossed her mind to think about adoption or what's the other one? Fostering children. It never crossed her mind to do that because she was so stuck within herself to say, I wanted to have this amount of kids from me, and I could not do it anymore. Her pregnancies were incredibly tough. Listen, thank you, Travis. Listen, the gifts that you have given this earth are human beings that are going to actually care about it. Yeah, because the legacy continues. And we can't go back in time, but what we can do is acknowledge what your story is up until this point and what you wanted to look like. And in that time, in those 6 weeks together, we did a lot of great work. In those 6 weeks together, she ended up becoming a foster parent for pets of service members who are deploying. That is the way that she found, and she didn't even know something like that existed. She had no idea. God bless her. And so when you start to unpack what came out of the difficult parts of your life, when you start to unpack the things that you wish could have happened or that you regret, and we frame your story from a strength-based perspective. And I look at the inconsistencies and the themes and your strengths and your descriptions of your old self and the missing permission and the places where your life was already telling you the truth of who you were, and you dismissed it because in the moment it didn't feel right. You were only focused on one thing. When I'm telling you this, collective, I'm telling you this because it is necessary. It is necessary. I see it too often. I am so passionate about this. I see it too often at the end of life where I'm sitting with women and I get my clients, y'all. Sometimes I get my clients, if I'm lucky, I get them 3 months before we hit imminent threat. Sometimes I get a client within 24 hours before they pass away. And I'm looking through photo albums. I'm speaking to their families. I'm listening to all these stories. I'm like, wow, has this person ever been celebrated for that? Have they ever gotten an award, a piece of cake, anything? No, mom just kept going. Dad just kept going. That's just who they were. And I'm like, no, that's not just who they were. No. And so every skill that I've taken from my work as a hospice social worker, end of life care, 11th hour care, is being transmuted into assisting women in honoring themselves and their stories. So y'all make sure that y'all hit that link that's pinned to this chat and check it out. Continuing on with this message. This is on my heart so much. It's almost hard for me to move on the way that I want to. So this is probably going to be more confirmation than anything. Yeah, look, justice. Woo-wee, talking about making it right. Justice with temperance. And I feel like a lot of women don't feel like they're being seen. They don't feel like they're being seen, being heard. Yeah, I can't even say feel like. It's what it is. Not just on a societal level, but on a personal level, on a spiritual level. Sometimes you just don't feel like you're being seen, understood, listened to. You just feel like you're going in this perpetual cycle of just crisis management of everything. Crisis management of everything, and it is frustrating. And you're asking yourself, what can I do to feed myself even more? What can I do to nourish myself even more? What can I do to make the people around me understand just how big this is for me? And it's hard to translate your life. It's hard to translate certain areas of who you are to make other people understand what you need, what you require to maintain. Yeah, looking at this temperance, just chilling off. Page of Cups just flew out, chilling off the side of the Queen of Pentacles. Let me channel this real quick. This temperance, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, feeling a sense of of drinking and pouring at the same time, I'm gonna tell you right now, the balance is who's pouring into you? No, serious question. Who is pouring into you? Not an even exchange, okay, where we meet up for brunch and I talk to you, you talk to me, and this, I'm pouring into you, you're pouring into me. Like, who is pouring into you unapologetically without looking for something in return? I feel like that is a part of you being on guard around people. And you don't have to even answer that here. You can answer that for yourself. It Lo said crickets. That's a friend, that's a problem. That's a problem. If I'm asking you who's pouring into you and there is no one, this is where you build your community. And I said it once and I'm going to continue to say it. There is nothing wrong with building your FYP brick by brick, and there's nothing wrong with building your community brick by brick. I don't care if you hire somebody, people hire personal trainers all the time, life coaches, spiritual coaches all the time. That is a part of their community, people who actually care about you in a way that is a deeper significance than someone who only knows one part of you because you can't share the whole of you. I don't care if you have to go to the book of the month club. It's a Vietnamese spot near me, baby. They do chess club once a month. I didn't even know that until I saw the flyer. Guess who won't be there? Me. Your library, the ones that are still open. You build your community brick by brick. Why? Because it's imperative that just as much as you pour into other people, just because of who you are by nature, you must allow people to pour into you, even when you pour into yourself. We think that because we pour into ourselves that we don't deserve other people to do the same for us. That's wild. So when I see a response like crickets or my dog, that bothers me. Yeah, that does something to my spirit because that means you just been out here or you're out here alone in a way that you're not necessarily like lonely, but you're out here thugging it with no safe space to land when you want to do one of the most human things in the world, and that's just talk to somebody. Yeah. Where you want somebody to hold a grounded space for you so that you can elevate yourself. You can become more self aware. People can ask you questions that are reflective and they recognize that you're not asking to be fixed. You're not asking to be fixed. Everybody wants to have a solution to be fixed or a problem to be solved. And sometimes you just want to be poured into. Period. I gotta say, when I'm looking at this page of cups and what's this, the five of cups, I feel like I'm tapping on a energetic door that some of you just want to open and say, Cash, just please come on in and pour into me. Like, please, 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 I need it. And I'm here for you. I got you, okay? Because I do in-person meetups as well as far as my coaching goes. I do that. I'll meet you at the beach. I'll meet you at the coffee shop. I do all of that, but with a purpose. I want you to recognize that you deserve to be held. in a way that honors the totality of you. And I also want to be clear that when you are held in that way, you'll never ever look at being poured into or pouring into others the same. I keep telling y'all that the collective, we talk about abundance, we talk about manifestation a lot, and I'm here for it. Don't ever stop speaking about it. Don't ever stop learning about it, no matter what your modum of operandi is. I hope I'm saying that phrase correctly, y'all. Somebody look it up for me. I'm y'all can't see this, but my hand is actually shaking. I mean this so much. When you are held in a space that honors the totality of you are having to reteach yourself, or maybe teach yourself from the very beginning on how to receive. Mhm. How to receive. And how to receive from someone who does not require emotional labor from you. The collective, for a very long time, women for a very long time, for all of humankind, have consistently poured and given to other people, and we not just respect, we expect other people to receive, to take what we are giving, because it's a dishonor when you don't take what we're giving, when we're offering a part of ourselves. We take it as offense. Because what we always want to do is heal. But let me ask the divine feminine to receive some love. Oh, no, I don't, ooh, that's kind of crazy. It don't fit. Yeah. So when I ask you in our one-on-ones, in our coaching, how does it feel to receive this information? And all you can do is just burst into tears. How does it feel to be held? And you don't even have the vocabulary or the words for it. How does it feel when I reflect this part of your life back to you? And the words that come out of your mouth is just, wow. Wow, I didn't even look at it that way. Wow, that's crazy. I can't believe I did all that. Yeah. When I work with you on that soul level, you have to receive it. Hold on, y'all. This is my husband. Hey, baby daddy. Nothing. I'm just live right now. Can I call you back? Okay. All right. All right. Sorry, y'all know my husband called. I pick up the phone and look at this big old smile on my face. Yeah, you saying that's real? Yeah, it's real. It's real. I've worked with women who are high functioning spiritualists. I'm talking about some of the most clear eyed spiritualists. I've worked with women who are corporate America baddies, as they say. And when it comes to pouring into them and receiving, it's almost like they retreat from it. They retreat from it. I've had to physically grab people's hands and say, I see you. What they will, if I'm face to face with them, they will physically move back from me pouring into them, because they are recognizing in that moment that what they are, who they are, what they've given is big. It is big. It is beyond a degree. It is beyond the bank account. It is beyond the ring on their finger. I am reflecting back to them who they are. Not that they just survived, but they've arrived. And that is a big energy to ask the woman who's always used to just giving. It's huge. And baby, let me tell you, I hold that space for you. I don't have a choice. Because when I go to sleep at night, baby, God ain't going to get me. I don't have a choice. I have to do it for you. When I say y'all do it for those saints, type it 2 in the chat if you were OG and you know when I said do it for little saint. Okay. And I guess the purpose of this message today, as I talk about the old version of you and God closed that door, the overall message is that I understand why. Love you too. I understand why going back to the old version of you feels good. It's comforting, or I don't even know if that's really the word I'm looking for. It's attractive. Yeah, that's the word. I understand why it's attractive. It's attractive because there's a space there where even if you have to shrink yourself, you're seen. Even if you're seen as the last, the 5 year ago you, even if you're seen as that, that's more comforting to you in your mind than going out here and building a community that sees you for who you are in the new version, or the new and improved version, or just the better version, the high functioning version, the self-assured version. Where when people ask you who you are, you're very strong. Yes, this is who I am. And you're not dumbing yourself down. And you're not concerned about the people who feel like you're taking up a spotlight that they never had in the first place. Okay. Or you're not concerned with people who have problems within themselves, that you are owning this next level of your life. Spiritual self-leadership is a big deal, and it's one I advocate for strongly with a purpose. Hello. You said your North Node is in Pisces. Can I just reveal something to y'all? I don't even know what that means. I'm a Taurus. I'm an April Taurus. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm so grounded that if you talk to me about astrology, I'll be lost. The extent of where my astrology goes is pretty much like I'm a Taurus. That's the extent. And not because I don't care about it. I think it's quite fascinating, and I can listen to other people speak about it all day in a way that it's a spiritual science, right? I can listen to it. But for me, that has no bearing. Why y'all laughing at me? That has no bearing on you being spiritually aware, emotionally intelligent, capable, high functioning. It has no bearing on how you show up in the world. So it's never, I've never been attracted to it. When I look at my pictures on my small pictures on my cards, I don't immediately go to uh zodiac sign. That's not how I function. When I'm looking at a woman who is breaking through barriers, that's sitting in front of me, and I'm watching the old version of her dissolve in tears because she's never been received in a way that honors her entire journey, I don't think in my mind, oh my God, look at this Leo, look at this Aries. No. Look at this woman who became the version of herself that she always knew, and she just needed somebody to pour into that. So she walks in it wholly and fully. No, no, no. Don't you ever apologize. Let me tell. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. All of us. Come here. Deep breath in. We will never apologize. We're going to stop that shit in 2026. We apologize so much. And for what? For being who we are? That's how you interpret the world around you. You find something that is familiar that you say, okay, that makes sense to me. This is how I make it make sense. You and I are not on the same journey. So how you interpret the world is yours, and I honor that. What I'm letting you know is that the language you're using, I can't even keep up with. And that's okay. And you know how I know it's okay? Because we still having this conversation right now. And I understand you and you understand me. If we were sitting down right now and you said my North Node is in Pisces, I would ask you more. I would say, okay, tell me what that means. How does that feel for you? When is it shown? Has it ever shown up for you like this before? What does this energy mean to you? What does it feel like during a time like this? How do you express that? Are you more artistic, or do you kind of retreat within yourself? I'm asking questions, baby. Ain't nothing to apologize about at all. So we gonna revoke that apology, and we're gonna take that apology and we're gonna box it up for when you are in a situation where you're not giving yourself grace. And I want you to go back to that apology, unbox it, and say, "Wow, I'm sorry, self, for not giving myself grace. I'm gonna do better." Period. That's how we handling things. And to be honest with you, I practice. Not to be honest with you, I don't need the precursor. I practice that in real life. When I'm next to women, and let's say like one person bumps into the other or something like that, or it's like a small mistake, and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Stop apologizing. What you apologizing for? What are you sorry about? You're not sorry. You're beautiful. We're humans existing in a small space. I love that you are here. This is our small space. And one day, I saw somebody prophesied on my channel and said that your channel deserves so much more. And I recognize that. And I said, I received that. One day, y'all, it's not gonna be 8 of us in here. It's not gonna be 15 of us. One day it's gonna be 100 of us in here. One day it's gonna be 1,000 of us in here. We're gonna all be in this space together. And nobody will be speaking the same language. None of us will be identifying with certain parts of this message the same way. But we're connecting on a grander scale because we all understand what it's like to do serious work within and for it to go unrecognized. Many of us know what it's like to invest in books and retreats and masterminds and coaches and get something from it or not. Yeah. And I receive all of that. Okay. So that's my message. Now let me get I got off track with the sorry, but let me get back to the finality of my message, which is you're not the old version of you. And God closed that door for a reason. That's why it's hard for you to function. That's why it's hard for you to function in that old version of you because you're dumbing yourself down. That's why you feel completely and utterly drained around older circles of yourself. Yeah. That's why you sit up at night. That's why you have to go on your trips by yourself, which I totally advocate for. Listen, I am a team solo traveler. Okay, that's what you got to do. I'm from the universe, baby. The Witness Woman, which is my 6-week private one-on-one experience, is one that you have to check out. If you are a woman who people come to you for steadiness, for wisdom, for strength, but no one has ever taken a moment to look at who you are, who you've grown into, what's going on with you, this is the program that you need. It's born out of recognizing that everybody don't want to keep going through the crisis. Everybody doesn't want to keep investing in becoming her. Many of you, without even recognizing, has already become. Yeah. Hold that. Hold it. Hold it tight. All right. I'm going to close out this energy. All right. I hope y'all can still hear me. I'm going to close out this energy. I'm not really sure what deck I want to use. Let's try this one out. How y'all feeling? Tell me how y'all feeling in the chat right now. Speak to me. Speak to me. Tell me how you're feeling. Tell me how you're receiving this message. Does it resonate? Does it not? Is it too much? Let me know. You said, well, okay. Okay. Good. Good. I care about how you're receiving the message. Y'all know, when I look at like who my channel, what other channels recommend my videos, I watch those people. I watch those women. And I am absolutely in awe at how many of the women that my channel is recommended through, how they have a high level of respect for being in the grit, which should be respected, because if you're in the grittiness of life and you're fighting your way through, that is an era that should absolutely be respected. Absolutely. Everybody in here has been through the grit. Everybody in here has been through the bullshit. Everybody in here has grieved, loved, lost, been played, taken advantage of. Everybody in this space has been in the grit of life. I've never met a person who did not have an expansive spiritual awakening where it completely took them out for months. I'm talking about they are exhausted and recovering. Some of y'all even change your entire diets after you go through a spiritual awakening. So that grit that I watch a lot of the women unpack for others, I highly respect that. I highly respect that. And I look at the comments. Now I'm telling y'all how I do my market research. I look at the comments and I'm like, whoa. Okay. Most people are like agreeing with this part of the journey, but every now and again, I see the woman that's just like, I used to be that way, but I'm not that anymore. I used to feel that way, but I don't feel like it anymore. And let me tell you something. That is the woman I'm speaking to. That's the woman that I want to come over here and say, hey, this is the language that I'm speaking to. While I can still talk about prayer, manifestation, your rituals, tap in. I can still talk about your alignment, spiritual warfare, and spiritual protection. Yes, I still speak about that. And I have seasons of that. And I can still talk about healing even when you're healed. I can tap into the grit because that's an experience that has defined you. But as soon as I tap into that grit and I define it and I excavate it, we're moving into the world building. Yeah. And sometimes, y'all, can I just be real with y'all? My titles never reflect what the message is. My titles could never reflect. They only give us 100 character spaces for these titles. So something as simple as what I titled this one, y'all, the old version of you was done. God already closed that door. the way that we've already pulled this message clear apart from my message to what you guys are putting into the chat, we've gone above and beyond what this title is. And one thing I have a hard time doing is doing like rage bait titles. I can't do that. I can't do that. If I'm speaking about spiritual warfare and you going against opposition, and the opposition is in the form of how humans are behaving towards you, we'll have that conversation all day. If your spiritual warfare is unseen, we'll talk about that all day. But baby, hi, baby. My titles never reflect what we speak about here. We go so much deeper. So if you are a woman that's scrolling and you are looking for, how your divine masculine was really a karmic and all that, I want you to find the content that supports you. If you are somebody who's used to titles that say, your whole family is got the FBI against you, I hope you find the content you're looking for. Because the content that I'm speaking about is the content that pours into you unapologetically. It pours into you so much that you might actually feel nervous about receiving it. Yeah. And I welcome those who feel that nervousness and still lean into it. I'm for women across the board. Tap in. I'm for women across the board. And I am for specifically for women who are using their powers for good. If you listen, if you're a meanie weenie, you're out. We don't want you here. Just across the board, we don't want you here. Okay, if you're a meanie weenie. That's a nice way I can say it. Okay. Because one thing y'all know is that my mouth can get filthy. Okay. I learned a lot of cool ways to say cuss words from women from the South and from the Marines I served with. Okay. No, y'all listen. Y'all think women from Florida cuss so good? Yeah, I never heard a Marine who was filthy from the desert cuss. Ha! So I gotta behave myself because I almost let it slip out the other day. I did let it slip out the other day. Okay, I use a real filthy word on here. That's why I made it members only. Oh man, shoot, this energy don't want to pop out. What's going on? Speak about this energy, baby. What's the closing message? Whew, 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, it is sitting in somebody right now. With Temperance. Temperance coming out again. And the 3 of Pentacles. My goodness. The 8 of Pentacles. Temperance. And the 3 of Pentacles. This 3 of Pentacles is in freaking insane. It's almost like, can y'all see that? Hope my nails aren't in the way. This is actually kind of wild. It looks like there's like a golden rainbow. And hold on, y'all. Girl, where the heck are my glasses? Yes, I'm that old. Shut up. Okay. Where I'm like, where are my glasses? Yes, but let me get this together. Wow. It's almost like, okay. Wow. There's a bridge right here. And it's like the bridge is going up towards this arc. It sounds like a cycle, huh? To this arc. And you see there are people down here working, and there are people up here working as well. It's almost like they're doing a painting, or they're doing artwork of some sense. I think there's somebody back there praying. It's a little bit abstract. This is what I'm seeing. And this is definitely about building community. But if you take a step back even further, it's almost like this is somebody's mind. And this is the inner workings of the mind. And this is what's happening outside of it. Oh, I like that. With Temperance, I feel like a lot of y'all been living up here. A lot of y'all have been living up here. A lot of stuff that I've been saying this evening. Oh my gosh. I feel like a lot of y'all did not have language for that, or you didn't even know that you felt that way until I excavated after I brought it out. But it's real and it's true. And it's not just deep within. Thank you. It's not just deep within. It's like, are you talking about my cuss words? Listen. But so it's not just deep within. It lives in your mind, and it often dies in the mind because you don't know where to put that energy. You don't know where to put that creativity, where to put that building. That building happens with your community. I feel like some of y'all have not stepped out and really found a tribe that supports you for a number of reasons. I feel like this is a call to action. This is a call to action. Even if it's one thing that you're going out there to find, to grab, to grasp onto, baby. Whoa. And the more I look at this photo, the more, or this painting, the more it just goes deeper. So, wow, you got somebody on the side here that's building. Y'all see that? And then we got people here at the back. This is an amazing card. I'm going to sit with this card for a minute. And then you have the bigger picture with the 8 of Pentacles that's saying, we see the seeds that are planted. We must assist you in doing more. And I feel like there's a back and forth. You plant the seeds and then you go back into your mind. You plant the seeds, you go back into your mind. And Temperance is saying, find the balance. If you plant the seeds, you cannot allow it to die. You got to follow through. You got to follow through. And as I'm looking at this Temperance, what deck is this? This is a bomb deck. Look at this Queen of Wands. Sometimes I don't even be knowing. I just be buying beautiful that, and that's what I love about. Don't get me started with art, but this Temperance is saying you qualify. You qualify. And I know that many women have a problem with recognizing how qualified they are. That's why I keep going getting certifications and keep applying for jobs and keep getting degrees, and you keep doing so many different things because you want to say, hey, look, I qualify for everything, not even knowing that your anointing and your appointment into your anointing qualifies you in ways you've never even been able to quantify or qualify. You do a lot of qualitative energy work. Ooh-wee. I love this. This deck is the bomb. What deck is this? 5 of Swords with that Queen of Wands at the bottom and the Queen of Swords. It just popped out and who just floated out like that? 2 of Wands. Wow. Yeah. If you are 2 of Wands energy, which means you're like, hey, I'm ready to cross through this threshold, baby. I'm here to cross through it with you. I'm here to cross through it with you. If you're ready, you click on that link. If you have questions, you hit apply. We'll go through the questions together. We'll schedule a call together. Because many of you appreciate the hand holding through different seasons of your life. And I'm here for that. Okay. Any questions before I get up out of here? I'll leave about a minute, see what happens. But how are you all feeling right now? Do you feel more empowered, inspired? Do you feel more confused than before? Like, how are you doing? If no one's ever asked you how you're doing before, let me be the one to ask you. How are you doing, baby? How is it sitting with you? Yeah. And I know many of you are asking about my newsletter, baby. The newsletter is coming. You said you have no more questions? Okay. No questions, no comments? That's fine with me. The newsletter is coming. I was not prepared for the influx of newsletter signups. And so I kind of like had a small moment of analysis paralysis, but it's coming, y'all. It's coming. It's coming. No. Don't say my bad. You say you feel seen by me. Oh, by me? Yay! I'm so glad you feel seen. Tap into that. And that has always been my goal here. You said you needed to hear this, to be honest. I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. The reflection is so necessary. It's so necessary. Thank you, Glow. You are awesome. Thank you. You're awesome too. All of you are amazing. You're amazing. And I'm blown away at the growth that we're having on this channel. And I'm starting to get comments from new people who are seeing the content, and I'm so here for it. I thank you guys so much. No, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. This has been a great time, a great message. It's one that's been sitting on my soul. And honestly, we probably didn't even need the tarot cards today. We probably didn't. But they were just confirmation of what I feel like has been sitting at a unique threshold for women like you. And that is to be seen and honored. And if you are looking to work with someone at a higher level that understands through not just their content that they show you that they have a particular level of expertise, skill, and authority, you go ahead on and click that link. You go ahead and click that link. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I agree. One day we're going to look back and remember when there was only 18 of us in here, and all 18 of y'all going to be going to have blue wrenches. And I love that. And I love that. And it's all about the growth. I was looking at my screenshots from last year, and this time last year I had 200. I'm sorry, not 200. I had 888 subscribers just last year. So to even have over 2,000, I think I'm over 2,500 at this point, is amazing. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. I'm forever grateful. I'm forever grateful. Okay, I don't see any questions. I don't see any comments, which is not a problem. I love it too. I love it too. And you know what else? I'm not jinxing myself, but there is the ability to read the chat. And I love it. And I love it. All right. All right, guys. I don't see anything else. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you so much. And I know I say that multiple times at the end of every live stream. It's almost a ritual where I have to say, thank you guys so much. I love you so much. Thank you guys so much. I love you so much. It is a mantra that I live by, because y'all could be anywhere in the world and you are hanging out here with me. You decide to hit that like button. Some of you hit subscribe. I never know how many subscribe until after the live stream, but you guys are here with me, and I really appreciate you all. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Women, you are amazing, and you deserve to be honored. Make sure you click that link that's pinned, and I'm going to also put it in the description, and look out on my community tab, and I'll get a newsletter out this weekend, okay? Elle, hope you're doing all right. Glow, doing all right. Wanderlust, I love that name. Hope you're doing well. Travis, thank you so much for keeping this community safe. Always, always, always love that you're here. Stay safe, stay alert. Remember, I said how the world is waking up. The chosen ones are waking up. And those chosen ones that have been asleep for a very long time, they are coming into their spiritual awakening rapidly. You are not responsible for everybody's journey, but you do what you can with what you have the capacity for. And you don't own anybody's journey that is not yours. But if you have a piece of information that can help them on their journey, then hey, you tap in. And if it's not your season to do so, then you don't. And don't feel guilty about it, okay? We are in very harsh times, and I don't even think that it's over, but we will survive this. We don't have a choice because there's a lot of repairing that this world is about to go through, and we all need each other, okay? All right, guys, I love you. I'll see you on the next one. Later.